You're listening to the John and Heidi Show, now featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Mr. Dan Farris. Good day, sir.
Good day to you, John. How you doing, Heidi?
Super duper. How are you?
Super duper, too.
Everybody's super duper.
Everybody's super duper.
Henry Ford born on this day.
I bet he's super duper, too.
I bet Henry's doing just fine. You know, you can buy Ford stock for like $7 a share.
Can you really?
Yeah, it's like dirt cheap.
So it's on sale?
No, it's been hovering between like $6 and $9 for past couple years.
Hey, who is it here that does the market beat minute? That would be me.
I'm sorry, John.
I just read what it says on the page.
I stand embarrassed.
And I don't even do that very well.
I stand embarrassed.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's brought us a lot of great characters, including how he got to be a governor of anything's beyond me, but Arnie is 74 today.
Okay.
Governor.
Phoebe from Friends, Lisa Kudrow. How old do you think Lisa is?
I bet she's 52 and a half.
Oh.
Heidi?
I'm going to say 55.
Heidi wins. She's actually 58 today.
Oh, wow. Good job, Heidi.
She's 58 today. It was 1733. Society of Freemasons opens their first American lodge in Boston, Massachusetts.
Nice.
Okay.
And people always freak out. I happen to be a Freemason.
Nice.
There's all this, shrouded in mystery.
Yeah. Can you talk about it? Isn't it like a secret?
Not really. All you really need to know, I can pick up the phone and have you killed.
Oh, wow.
And that's worldwide, John.
No kidding.
We have reached, my friend.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Actually, that's not true at all.
That's not what I'm going to say. I don't think that's probably what they do.
But it is the world's...
They do good things, right?
It is the world's largest brotherhood. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They do a lot of good things.
Yeah, so you have to be actually a Mason before you can be a Shriner.
Oh, yeah.
Shriners, in case you don't know, it isn't
Masons.
just a bunch of crazy guys with funny hats having parties.
Yeah.
They actually fund almost a couple dozen children's hospitals across
that's
the
amazing.
country.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
really, really cool.
So, yeah, if it weren't
Good
for
job,
Masons,
yeah.
there wouldn't be Shriners and ta-da-da-da. So
Thank you for doing that. That's really neat.
Absolutely. And let's see, to wrap things up here, because I like this a lot, it was this day in 1956, the U.S. motto, "In God We Trust," is authorized.
Yeah.
Nice.
Eisenhower.
I love it.
Also happens to be the year I was born. So win-win, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's good stuff. Now we all know.
Now we all know. I know. You know. We know.
Do the math, ladies and gentlemen. Do the math. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Heck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for Ranger Dan's Critter Corner.
Well, I'm rough, tough, and ready. I'm a heck of a man. Eat my beans and weenies from a frying pan.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves to wrestle bears and lasso ducks. Run over possums in my government truck.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves all the campers and the animals too. If you're picking on critters, I'm coming after you.
He's Ranger Dan.
Yes, sir. I'm Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Small top of the morning to you too, Jan. You're looking good, Heidi. I'm just going to get right down to business here. As a matter of fact, we'll right around, gather around.
Goofing around, huh?
It occurred to me. We spent a lot of time talking critters because it is in fact Critter Corner.
Yeah, it is.
It's right in the name. So
Yeah.
we talk about animals.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot more to nature.
There is?
A lot more. There's things that grow, for goodness gracious sakes. And I learned all this during my survival training and everything you got to do to become an official ranger for the great state of South Dakota. It occurred to me, you're sitting around looking to maybe grow something that's going to do you some good. Let's talk about potatoes, shall we?
Oh, I love potatoes.
I want to talk about potatoes. They're everywhere. They're cheap. They're plentiful. And goodness gracious, what can you do with them? You can fry them. You can mash them. You can roast them. You can bake them. You can boil them.
Oh, yeah.
Yum.
Or like my Uncle Stump, you can distill them into vodka, mix them up with some Red Bull, slam back a couple quarts, and go operate some heavy machinery.
Yeah, let's not do that one.
Oh, there's quite a few varieties of taters, and again, you can just throw these in some dirt somewhere in the wild, or you can plant them right at home, whatever you want to do. You can do your basic russets. Everybody's familiar with the russets.
Yum.
Yep, you can get your baby reds. You see those everywhere too. But there's also some hybrid strains. There's the Kennebec potato. There's the Purple Majesty potato.
Wow.
You got your Rio Grande, your Red Gold, and your Yukon Gold.
Holy cow.
And Heidi,
Yes.
if you were a tater, you'd be a sweet one.
Sweet
A
potato.
nice, firm, blemish-free, beautiful bronze sweet potato. Perfectly baked for about an hour at 325, then gently bathed in creamy butter. We rub you down with a sprinkle of brown sugar and top you off with a fluffy cloud of melted marshmallow. Put you on a plate and just gobble you up. You wash you down with a frosty PBR and then toddle off to my bedroom, turn on my lava light, and count my blessings and call it a day. A sweet, sweet, sweet potato day.
What were we talking about again?
Tell myself, Ranger Dan, the Ranger life's been awfully good to you. That's all the time we have today,
thank
little
goodness.
Radio Ranger.
Wow.
Always keep in mind, if it's nature, it's neat, which is why we call it nature. Is Ranger Dan out? Say it with me.
Yes, sir.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time right now for water cooler talk with Mr. Dan Farris. And you said you're going to just hand it right back to me.
Well, this is pretty interesting, and I only the young lady who mounted the charge here for a little rally coming up later today, or this
evening,
early evening.
Rise Up Sioux Falls.
Yes, I've known her since she was a kid herself.
That's awesome.
Matter of fact, the first home I bought was right across the street from her childhood home. So, yeah, it's cool to see her grow into a really fine young lady.
And this, I still think, is just really cool how this all came about. There's an amazing organization by the name of Operation Underground Railroad. So when I was a kid, I learned about the Underground Railroad in history class. Do you guys remember that?
I wasn't in your class, John.
Well, you remember learning about the Underground Railroad in your history class?
I sure do.
Okay.
I learned it well before you. So I could have been there in real time.
You could have. So the Underground Railroad, as a lot of people know, especially Dan, because he was there in real time, they helped get people out of slavery, which is an amazing thing. But so many people don't realize that, there are more slaves alive today than there were the entire time we had slavery. There are more people alive right now in slavery today.
Slaves, human trafficking, that kind of thing. They estimate about 40 million people worldwide.
It's just
huge. 14
such
million.
A sad thing.
That's insane.
And this Operation Underground Railroad, they are working on the front lines. And if this is something, I'm going to warn you before you click on there and start reading about it. Because when Mariah mentioned this a week ago, it's like a week ago yesterday, she mentioned on Facebook, hey, they're doing these events all over the place. Why aren't we doing one in Sioux Falls?
All over the country, right.
And all over the world. And I chimed in and said, hey, you should do one. I'll help you. And then other people did. And they were like, next thing you know, there's a snowball of like 50 people going, if you do one, we'll help you. So then it's happening now. And there's several people who are going, hey, I want to help. So Heidi was asking me, we're getting involved in this. What is this again? So I start researching this organization, Operation Underground Railroad, and their website, OURrescue.org. And it's an amazing organization. But I'll tell you what, it is really tough to see what they do, because not what they do, they're saving people. But it's really tough to see what some children are going through.
It's gut-wrenching, heartbreaking stuff.
Stuff that I don't even want to talk about on the radio because, again, it's very awkward. It's very uncomfortable. But that's how so many people get away with this, because it does live in the shadows. It is awkward. It is uncomfortable. So today is a very special day all around the world. There are a lot of people that are rising up to talk about this uncomfortable topic, again, of human trafficking. And it all kind of sparked this event that's happening today, all kind of sparked from the gentleman that's in charge of this organization, the founder and the CEO of Operation Underground Railroad, when everybody, remember a couple weeks ago, there was stuff going around on the internet about Wayfair is selling kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was all malarkey, by the way.
But they're going, okay, so even if that, he did a video saying whether that's true or not true, you need to understand, that does happen.
Absolutely does.
Every single day.
On all sorts of websites.
And he said there are websites all over. And I watched a video last night where he was talking about some of the undercover stings that they've done. And there are people that are, selling a car, wink, wink. And they'll have the car listed, but not in the car section. They'll have it in the personal section, and they'll have a car that's 12 years old. Well, it's not a 12-year-old car. It's a 12-year-old person. And, then when they have this conversation, there's all these code words that are used and unbelievable, the things that they've been able to do and help people. It is terrible. It's horrible. But, again, if you want to be a part of doing something to help, and I've had people say, what are we going to accomplish today? I don't know. I have no idea what we're going to accomplish today, other than we're going to let people know that it does matter. And if there's even one victim of trafficking that is saved because of all of the things that are happening all around the world today, wouldn't that be wonderful? And I think it could be way more than one. All of the information is available if you'd like to find it. OURrescue.org, which is Operation Underground Railroad.
I think his rally ties just, draw attention to
the issue.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of like shine the light on the stuff that's happening in the shadows. And again, we've got a Facebook page for the Sioux Falls event set up, facebook.com/riseupsiouxfalls. And if you go there, you can get all the information about the event. And I'd love it if you join us this afternoon. It's going to be from 6:30 till 8:30 on the corner of 57th and Louise in Sioux Falls. So if you get a chance, come join us this afternoon. And thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour with Dan Farris.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
And it's time now for our Bright Spot of News, brought to you by Paul's Designer Showroom on Lake Lorraine and Sioux Falls. And today we shine on an event that's happening in Sioux Falls this afternoon. And this is actually tied to something that's going on all over the nation. Today is World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. And there's an event that's going to be happening this afternoon, and we're going to be hearing from the gentleman that started this Rise Up event all across the nation. So we'll be hearing him over the internet through the magic of the internet. But we actually have a local speaker that's going to be speaking as well, Emily Schultz. And Emily is on the phone with me now. How are you doing, Emily?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, thank you for taking the time to chat. So tell me a little bit about how you got involved in this, because this is something that's near and dear to you, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm personally a victim of sexual assault and rape throughout the course of my childhood and a little bit in my adult life as well. I saw one of my Facebook friends promoted this event, and I offered to help out in any way possible.
And this is one of those things that a lot of the people listening probably don't realize, that this doesn't just happen in a faraway place. It happens there as well, but it also happens right here where we live, just in the shadows, and people don't typically talk about it, right?
Correct. I mean, it could be happening in your next door neighbor's house or your good friend's house. It's in plain sight, yet very carefully hidden because of the things that predators do to keep their victims quiet and to continue to prey on vulnerable people.
Thank goodness you've made it through this, and I'm really sorry to hear about some of the terrible things that you've gone through in your past, but now you're a mother and you've got some little kiddos. How differently do you feel you treat your children because of what you went through? Are there things that you're like really cautious about letting them stay places and do things, or what kind of things do you do differently in your mind?
I am so glad you asked me that question. There is a great deal of things that I do differently. For one, I'm very careful about who I select as a babysitter. I spend a lot of time getting to know a person and making sure that I can trust them before I leave them with my children. I typically ask close family members to watch my children if I need a caregiver. Another thing that I've spent a lot of time on is teaching my children appropriate language to describe their private body parts. I want my children to be able to tell me that they were touched inappropriately in a certain place without using idiomatic language, because that holds up better in interviews with law enforcement. Another thing I've spent a great deal of time on is showing my children that they can trust me with information when somebody does something uncomfortable to them, to give them permission to say no. I spend a lot of time encouraging my children to take ownership of their body and to know that they don't owe any adult or person a hug or unwanted touch. I believe that if we help our children learn proper and safe physical boundaries, there's a lower chance of them being susceptible to grooming methods from people who wish to prey on their innocence.
And I'm on your page on Facebook here, and I was seeing that you were talking about something yesterday or 2 days ago on Facebook about the wonderful resources we have in Sioux Falls. And so many times I think people forget about these. We've got the Compass Center, Call to Freedom, Child's Voice, Sioux Falls CASA. I mean, there's so many wonderful resources that, again, if there is somebody listening that is going through something like this, reach out and get the help, because there are people out there that will help you, right?
Absolutely. In particular, Call to Freedom is an organization that specifically helps people escape human trafficking. So if you come to this rally or you participate in the event online and you're interested in finding out how to be more impactful here in Sioux Falls, that is an organization that I would say to check in with. Compass Center is amazing because they offer free counseling to victims of domestic violence, and there's a lot of other organizations who are doing good work, but those are some of the ones that I follow and I trust for information.
Well, Emily, thank you for your time today, and I look forward to meeting you this afternoon for the event and hearing from you this evening.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
And again, if you'd like to join us, the event is happening this afternoon from 6:30 until 8:30. And again, we'll be hearing from Emily tonight, but we'll also be hearing from the gentleman who started Operation Underground Railroad. And we'll be watching a video, or actually kind of listening to the video through the internet. So if you get a chance, come out and join us. 57th and Louise is where the event is happening. All of the information at facebook.com/RiseUpSiouxFalls. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at MarketBeatMinute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at MarketBeatMinute.com. That's MarketBeatMinute.com. Time now for entertainment news of the day with Mr. Dan Farris.
Because celebrities are fabulous. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's do something I don't think we do very often. We're going to take a little local bent.
Oh, okay.
Because there's some big things going on in Sioux Falls, my friend.
I know what you're talking about. It's a big thing.
I know. Yesterday, if you were out at the birdcage, you may have noticed a Wienermobile.
The Wienermobile is back in town.
They're going to be cruising around town.
They're going to be here for a little while. In fact, the Wienermobile, which, by the way, the very first Wienermobile was cruising the streets of New York back in 1936.
Wow. Was it made out of a Winnebago? Did I read somewhere?
It is now. They're using chassis from RVs, and I want to say Chevrolet supplies those, and it's kind of all over the map. Like the recent ones, the taillights are like from Firebirds.
Oh, wow.
And it's kind of a mishmash of stuff going on.
Well, you can get a wiener whistle.
You sure can. They hand them out just like Skittles.
Take a wiener whistle.
That's cool. We should go get a wiener whistle.
Oh, let's see. What is this, the 30th today? Yeah.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, going to be back at Canary Stadium from 5:30 to 8.
Nice.
And August 9th at the Birdcage, 3:30 to 6. It's going to be out at the Sioux Empire Fair, too.
Nice.
I guess tonight, and then August 6th, 1st, 2nd, 5th, whatever.
There's this schedule online somewhere.
Wienermobile apparently is just moving in.
Yeah, so. They've pretty much taken up residency.
I guess it's really difficult to get a job doing that.
I'm going to ask.
Every year, they get thousands and thousands of applicants, and I think they pick about a dozen drivers, and that job lasts a full year.
Yeah.
You get an annual salary, travel stipends. They put you up everywhere, but you have to go.
I think it would be fun to drive the Wiener.
I think so too.
You have to have a certain personality, and it's showbiz. That's what it is.
I believe we're going to be talking with Saucy Spence tomorrow.
Saucy Spence, he's one of the drivers. He's referred to as a hot dogger.
All right. I'm going to ask him, what does it take to be a hot dogger?
Yeah, and he'll tell you.
Here's what I'll tell you. Anybody that has any questions for the Wienermobile people, get them to me today.
Yeah, because you'll be talking to one of the hot doggers.
I have no idea what I'm going to ask them, so send me a message.
Well, I'm guessing it'll be Wiener related, John, and it's going to get super awkward.
You'll be like, okay, well, other than the Wienermobile, what else?
Well, the history of the thing is phenomenal, because I want to say the original Wienermobile was less than even like half the size that it is now.
Oh, right. Wow. That's what you could ask him. How big is his wiener?
How big is the Wienermobile?
And then the thing
he's got the info on that.
Then it got shelved for a number of years because of the thing called the Great Depression. What was so great about it? I don't know. My grandmother never spoke highly of it.
No, it was not very great.
I want to change the name, just like I'm pretty sure the Civil War wasn't real civil. Who's naming these things?
Not me. I didn't name any of that.
All right, and what else is going on? Etc. for her, the big annual bash.
I'm going to that, yeah.
That's, not this
year.
Anymore. Not. Actually, they're going to try to pick it up later this fall.
Oh.
But where it's normally been scheduled for years, it's not going to happen. It looks like they may just wait till next year and redo the whole thing. So if you're looking for a bunch of...
I've been to that. It's pretty cool.
John, why would you go to that? Why are you even admitting this?
The reason I went to it is it was the same time as the event that we were doing right next door for the Health Connect Fair.
So you just kind of wandered in?
I kind of did. I walked in, and they didn't question it because I was wearing my Sunny shirt. I think they thought that I had a booth. So I just walked past. Everybody had tickets, and as I was in there, I'm
now
like,
you're going to get a bill in the mail because walked right on by.
I'm not sure if I was supposed to be here.
I've never been to that event because when I need female empowerment, I just do it in the privacy of my own home.
And watch the Hallmark Channel.
And watch the Hallmark Channel.
There you go. Well, I'm happy for you. That's good.
It
seems like a really nice event. I wasn't there a long time.
It's a huge event.
Yeah, it seemed really nice. What were we talking about again? Was there something?
You going to etc. for women, and I think we're probably good here, John.
We've covered all the bases. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris.
If you have a credit card, we'd like to help you make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and see what you get for points or perks. Then go to bettercreditcards.com to see if we can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you get a better credit card. If you don't have a credit card right now, you can check us out too at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Thursday, July 30th, 2020. Wall Street got what it wanted from the Fed. The FOMC held rates unchanged and indicated an easy money policy would remain in effect for an extended period. Within the statement, Fed officials say that economic activity is well below pre-COVID levels, but employment has picked up in the recent weeks. The outlook is promising, but depends solely on the course of the COVID-19 pandemic and timing of any treatments or vaccines. The statement release sparked some intraday volatility, but nothing major for investors to worry about. The S&P 500, up about 1% going into the release, was able to maintain that level despite a few ticks of volatility immediately after. By the end of the day, the S&P 500 was closing near the highs of the session and confirming the market melt-up is still in progress with attention focused on earnings. Speaking of earnings, the second quarter season hits full boil after the bell with reports from 4 of the 5 FANG stocks. You can get the inside track in your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.